Hi, I'm Pam with PJ's Glass Creations, and I know that there's a lot of women, and some men too, who love their wine. Maybe you have somebody in mind right now who would love to have either a white wine ornament or a red wine ornament. If so, follow my step-by-step tutorial, and you can find my pattern on my Etsy site. Let's get started. I have all of my parts for a white wine and also for a red wine. Sorry about the Band-Aid on the finger. Accidents happen when you're cutting glass. And I have some black enamel. You can use any kind of enamel that you want, or you can use glass line paint. This particular one is from AAA Glass, and it is an easy fire enamel. And I am getting just the smallest amount of enamel on my brush. I wiped most of it off. And all I want to do is make a really thin line, very faint, that goes opposite of this curve here. And the purpose of that is to give the illusion of some volume to that wine, or some perspective. I'm going to do the same with the red wine. I know this looks orange, but it is a red striker. So it should turn out, I don't like that there. It should turn out red when it comes out of the kiln. And I'm going to do the same thing with the glass part of these. You can see it's very faint. I don't want it to show up too much. Otherwise it would be too stark. This one might be a little too faint. I'm going to stick these in the oven at 170 degrees for 5 or 10 minutes just to let that enamel dry so I don't smudge it. And then we'll be ready to assemble. All of my parts are out of the oven. You can see that the enamel does not smudge now. And this is a quick and easy assembly. All I need to do is line the stem of my wine glass. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this first. First thing I'm going to do is make the stem on my wine glass. And I am just putting a little dot of glue on top of my base and lining up the stem so it's perpendicular. Then I'm going to line the bottom of my wine up with the top of the stem. I'm going to put a couple of small dots of glue just to hold it. I'm using Elmer's glue, by the way. You can use whatever works for you. Glass tack or super glue, as long as it's not gel super glue. Make sure they're nice and straight. And then you glue the top on, or the top of the glass. And when you do that, you need to make sure that you have some clear showing all the way around. And that gives it the illusion of being a glass. That one's not straight. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to give this a chance to dry before moving it. And then I will put it in the kiln for a tack fuse. And then all we need to do is figure out a way to hang it. Here are my 2 glasses of wine. I have my white wine and I have my red wine. And I used a drill bit to drill a tiny hole in the top. If you don't have that, you can use an earring bail and glue that on. I also have some 12-inch lengths of ribbon. I'm going to tie just a tiny knot at the end. Cut my excess off. Do one for the other one. And then I always use a tiny bit of glue just on the knot, just to make sure it's secure and doesn't come unraveled. We wouldn't want that ornament to fall on the floor. I'm going to use a toothpick, push this through, grab the end. There's my red wine. And my white wine. After putting the hanger on these, I decided that they looked a little naked. So I have some red and green ribbon here, and I am just putting them together, and I'm going to tie a red and green bow right around the stem, just to add a little bit to it, to make it look a little more Christmassy, add a little bit more detail. And I am just tying a bow. Work at it a little bit to get it nice. And you can see this one compared to this one, it really does look a little bit better to have a little extra to it. I hope you have the perfect person to give one of these ornaments to, or maybe several people. Thanks for joining me. And if you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Bye.